Hello. Let's do a little project together in Canva. I, first of all, am a pro member. I know that we've learned about that in the class already, that the pro membership is probably around $150 a year. I think it is worth every penny. I do not promote that personally, but you just have access to so much stuff with the pro, and for the price, I think that it's well worth it. I do have the app also downloaded. This is downloaded on an HP computer, and then I also have it downloaded on my cell phone and tablet devices. So this is what it looks like in the app, but you can just go in, log into it through a web browser as well. So we are in it and we are logged in. And first of all, I just kind of wanted to show what some of the things were that you've maybe already read about as you've been working through this course. First of all, there's tons and tons of options of what do you want to design this day. Are you doing Instagram reels? I just did a big project with a bunch of YouTube thumbnails for my YouTube page. Are you wanting to do a mobile video? Are you wanting to do more of a presentation that would be more of a PowerPoint style? But this just gives you some brainstorm ideas to get the party started. And then all of this are my recent designs that I have as thumbnails, but you can also just have them as a running list if that is more clean to you. Now, I will admit my recent designs, and all of these I primarily designed for the real estate school, they're kind of a mess. I would love to get this cleaned up. I need to write that on my to-do list. Yet I do think it shows all the different things that you can create with this program. Now, if you wanted to do projects and go over here, this is where you could create folders, and I've attempted to do that. I just haven't kept up with it, but you could organize this into maybe basic templates that you use over and over and over. You could maybe have a folder that says holidays, or I have one that's Google reviews and one that I've done that are just short videos that I post on social media. That is where that is located. You can do specific templates if you want to look at things that are popular or things that they think you might like based on what you've designed in the past. And then, of course, you can dive into that deeper depending on what you're going to design for the day, whether it's something for social media, maybe it's a video, or maybe you're even wanting to do something to physically print. Now, let's go back again, because this is one perk with the Brand Hub that I really like. And I will be straight up honest with you. I did not set this up. I didn't know it was a feature until my marketing company saved my booty and set this up for me. But this is called Brand Hub. And this because they basically set up a brand kit for me that has all of the colors and versions of my logo. So one that's maybe more square, that's more linear, that's already kind of been stocked in here, as well as a really good shot of what I have my best use as a professional business photo. So all of that is in a brand template, and that really does help you so that you can, again, keep things consistent with whatever your template is for your color scheme. That is super, super helpful. Now, there are several apps here, and this is something that I am in a learning mode for myself. But I am gonna help you see that this is one that you should just watch, because with AI technology, at some point, Canva already has a lot of AI in it, probably, I guess, is the best way to say it. But at some point, they're going to have a baby with another AI program. And I think that that's where some of these design essentials and productivity things are coming into play. So this is one that is maybe a little bit more advanced. It's advanced for me. But again, we're doing this course just so that we can hit the basics and get you guys going. Another app that I think is really helpful, but you've got to have Pro for this. And again, you always know that it's Pro because it's got this little crown next to it, but it's this content planner. And I love the content planner because as soon as you design something, as you can see on July 20th of 2023, I went in here and I scheduled to post this to my Instagram. It's got the little Instagram symbol there. I went in and I posted so that it would automatically do it. So once I designed it, I picked the date, the time, the caption, and what I wanted it to post, and it took care of it for me. Genius, right? That way you don't have to always download everything and then re-upload it one at a time. As the day goes on, you've got to do it super manually. The only thing I don't love about the content planner is it only allows you to post to one social media source. So if you're doing and Facebook, for example, it's only going to let you post it to Instagram, and then it's going to send you a message if you try to also then repost it separate to Facebook, that it's going to cancel what you did with Instagram. So once you post something on this calendar, you can't change the design or change where you want to post it. Wish Canva would allow you to post simultaneously to more than one social media source. But stay tuned, because again, this is July of 2023. We're doing the basics. There's things this program I haven't experienced, so stay tuned. It might happen. Now let's go back home, because one thing I really wanted to make sure that we got to do together today was just show you some of the things that you can search for here and how to set up a design. So I'm going to just do this search that I've done recently, is just listed in real estate. It's, oh, sorry, I'm going to go back. I made my first mistake. That's okay. I want to make sure that we do templates, not my projects, but templates, just listed real estate. And it's going to come up with so many options, your head will spin. And I would say don't get in analysis paralysis of role. Now, one thing I will say is I did a pretty generic search because I felt like a just listed post on social media might be something that would be really helpful, or that you might be looking to do. It's very basic, but I know that you're seeing other agents do it on their social media pages. So I thought we would roll with it. Now, this is everything. This is Instagram posts, Facebook posts, you can see. This is one to create a video. I know that there's a couple in here that are bigger flyers that you might want to print, for example, for an open house. There might also be a couple of posters in here that I saw. So many options for you, but let's break it down and let's get into a category of what we're really trying to focus on. And let's check social media. Let's do an Instagram post. So this helped break it down. Now you can do a blank one and totally design it from scratch yourself. I know that back in the day, several brokerages that I experienced really across the state of Iowa, they had what they called a sharper agent that had templates in it that you could switch out. I called it a plop and drop, where you could just plop and drop a photo in, but it already had it pre-designed for you. Some of you that have been in the business for a while maybe used to use that, or maybe you currently do. This is a very similar program, but trust me, it's got so many more tools and so many more design options for you. Now, as I mentioned, this that says Pro with the little symbol next to it, that means you got to be a member of Pro. But there is a way for you to go out if you're not a member of Pro and you just want to play around for free. Look for that symbol. You can buy them one at a time for maybe $1 to $5, depending on the design. But if you're going to start buying designs again, I'm going to have you can maybe just upgrading to Pro and just going for it for the expense for a year. From, and again, there might be one that speaks to you based on the number of photos you want to illustrate, the type of content you want to illustrate. This one, for example, really highlights the details of all of the amenities of several new listings. To me, this would be great for those of you working with builders, that you could highlight several in the same development. That works really well. I do have something though that I'm looking for specifically that I wanted to work with you guys on, and it might pop up, but let me just stroll here. Bear with me for a hot second. Here, I want to use this one. It's pretty simple. And again, when you got the Pro version, it allows you to 100% customize it, which means if you want to change out photos, the font type, colors, etc., you're able to do that. You're able to edit and download it, which means you now can put it wherever you want. And then you've got the share and publish option. Now, one thing I do really like when you make a decision, because making the decision is sometimes the hard part, is it does give you more like this, which I think is kind of interesting. I usually just take quick, just quick spin through this to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I don't think we are, so let's customize this template. So now that we're in here, you could even change this text, and all you have to do is click on it. It highlights the text part and double click on it. And now we could do just listed, right? Instead of just sold, and maybe you want to keep the period there, maybe you don't. Maybe we want to add an address here, 123 Main Street, Des Moines, Iowa. You're going to see my typing skills. Again, you want to make sure that you have your name and then contact information. And then one thing I'm going to plug in here is when you're doing your marketing, make sure that you've got your 4 elements required by law covered. Okay, this is the Canva class. I got to hit the law. I'm that kind of girl. You've got to have your name, your broker's name, the city and state where your office is located, and that you are licensed in Iowa. Now, on social media, you might already have that in your about or your bio section, which really helps you that you've already got that kind of covered, so to speak. But if this is something that you are going to print, you don't have that content, you want to make sure that you get it on here. Now, I'm going to assume you got it in your bio for Instagram so that you're legally covered. So we're not really going to change this a whole lot. But what I wanted to do, though, is once you highlight this, you can go up here and change the font size to smaller, bigger, whatever works. You can change the font type. It shows you different fonts if you wanted to do, something a little bit different. And then just like what you're used to doing, maybe in your Word and Publisher or whatever kind of Microsoft documents you use, if you don't like what you just did, you can undo it by doing Control Z. Or I think for those of you Mac folks, it's Command Z. I haven't been on a Mac for a while, but font, Control Y puts it back. Control Y. And again, for you Mac users, it might be Command Y. So I use Command Z and Command Y, and I use Command V to paste things a lot too. That might be old hat for a lot of you, but just as a little quick reminder. Now we maybe want to switch this photo. So we're going to go over here to uploads. And I've already got a bunch of photos in here that I have used over my designs, but we want to upload a file. And I'm just going to go and find one on my personal computer of an old listing, if I can find one here on my desktop. Let's go to this old cute house that I listed. It's an old listing, not an old house. And let's use this just front photo. Now, when I go over here, it's loading it into the program. And now I can click on it and I can just put it in there, and you can either delete the old or sometimes it lets you just push it in there. It looks like it's not going to let me push it in there. So I'm going to size it. Now, this looks a little big, and like I might want to rearrange things based on the size of photo that I have. So let's walk through a couple things here. Number one, we could move all of this text down. You can grab a hold of the just listed, the main street, all of this, and we could just start hitting the down arrow and move it down. That might be a really good option. Or maybe we like that just listed to be there in the grass of the photo. So I'm maybe going to move this up. I'm going to move this down by the address. I'm going to move the photo down here just a little bit. And maybe now, instead of having that black, I'm going to choose that it's white. Okay. That way, maybe it does or does not stand out a little bit. So the one thing about this being just listed is, remember up here, it said yours could be next, because it originally we did just sold. And then there was another little graphic behind it. Well, now that we brought in this photo, it's covering up some of this. So there is a way to layer it so that certain elements go back and some elements come forward. And that is what I would call position. For those of you that maybe did freehand and Photoshop classes back in the early 2000s, it was called layers. This is called position. So what I'm going to do with this photo that I imported is I'm going to move it backwards so that that pops up. And I'm going to maybe change this text that says, this, I don't know how to spell, this could be your next home. And again, if we want to slide this around a little bit so it fits a little bit differently in the box, that's great. Okay. Now, this is kind of a boring, kind of basic. And I think that it even has beige. Yeah, beige modern house listing, real estate just sold. I don't love that. I would really love color scheme for my brand. So I'm going to go to colors, and you can see this is Iowa Real Estate Academy, but you could label yours as your real estate brand, obviously. And I'm going to pick a different color. And because the color of that house, I'm maybe going to start here to see if that blends. Is that too dark? Is that a pop of color? Do I like this blue? Do I like this blue? And actually, I think I'm going to go with this kind of dark blue. I think that pops really well. And I'm going to go up here to this box, and I'm going to have that match. Okay. Now I don't like the black on this personally. So I'm going to come back in again, and I'm going to change the color font to white. I'm going to go down here and change this color font to white. I can even change this little house from black to white. This is fully customizable. And on, you can kind of see what I'm doing to change that out. And I think that that white does make a definite new pop. In fact, you probably could even do an effect on this word so that it's got, you know, some sort of shape or gradient to it, so that it looks maybe a little bit more of a pop. Okay, these are just all ideas. Now, one thing that I wanted to show about this was now changing out your photo. So I want to change this out, and I'm again going to go into uploads and into my images, and I've already got a picture of Amy Schaefer. Okay, so she can go away and I'm here, but I don't fit into that design like I want it to. So one thing you can do, and this is an amazing feature. This used to take Photoshop, a program, and blah, 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 right? This is such a great one. Hopefully I don't mess it up for you, but go into edit photo. And I love this BG remover. This is a background remover. Now, first of all, I know some of y'all love your filters. So if you really did want to look at a filter for whatever reason, I don't know that these are very helpful in my opinion. And you maybe already had a filter when the photo was taken. I know there was probably a great filter on that photo compared to what you're seeing in the video right now. I totally get it. But you've got magic edit, and you've got magic eraser, so that you could erase a background and put a new background in. Maybe I don't want that brick background. I could do a magic eraser and make it look like I was standing in front of the Capitol building in Des Moines, or you just click on it, let it spin for a minute while it does its job. And there, the background is removed. So I'm going to scale this to size a little bit and bring it down here where the original spot was. And again, if you want to play with this and you want to move things around, the size of my photo and body was different than what was already there, you can move these things around. But having that background drop out is, to me, worth the annual premium that you pay for Pro. Even if you just went in and did that, save that photo and then used it somewhere else, I think that's really, really popular. Now, another thing that you could do is you maybe want to go and specifically call this just listed 123 Main Street, so that you know what it is. And you maybe want to use this design over and over again. The one thing that I'm going to suggest is, now if we wanted to edit this, what we really want to do is we probably want to come up here and do make a copy. That way you're keeping this one at 123 Main Street, and then you can make another for your listing at 123 Banana Street. So every time you change this, that's one thing I had to catch on to a little bit, is this just automatically saves. This little icon up here, all my changes are saved. And if I now start doing something else, even if I relabel it up here like I just did in this section, it's gone. This what we've just created is gone. So do make sure that you do this file and make sure you have a copy if you want to keep what you previously created. This resize tool is really great as well. So that if you did want to create a different size based on where you're posting it, you could go and resize this too. Again, you've got to have Pro to use this, or they even have some, if you knew you wanted this to be a Facebook cover or a Facebook post, they've already got those things kind of plugged in there for you. Now, one thing that I wanted to maybe take a look at was some animation. Let's hit these three dots. That was position. squirrel. Let's hit animate. So let's say I've got this just listed. Maybe I want to, let's just pick the first one, have that rise. So now we're really making it from a PNG or a JPEG file to an MP4. So when I hit this rise, once it becomes an MP4, it's technically now a video, which is fine. But if you want some of these things, this one's called Pop. It's pretty self-explanatory, but let's use this white one. I kind of like that one. And now we've got this all positioned. It's now an MP4. You could even put a link. A 5-second video, which means if you wanted to, you could go and do some elements. You could add maybe an arrow that points to the house. I like this arrow a lot. I'm going to move this maybe, whoops, up here. These circle, this 2 arrows lets you rotate it. I'm going to maybe make this a little bit smaller. You know, I'm going to make this white. I love dropout white. That's my thing. That might be a little bit too light, but again, you can animate this so that let's highlight it so that it moves around, right? Or it makes a little motion. Do we like that? The way it's really coming and, putting an arrow to the property. I like that a lot. I use that feature a lot too. And there's different things you could search for too. I like this question mark one. I used it a lot, obviously, as well. There could have added, and now that it's a 5-second video, you could, if you really wanted to, add some audio. So this is just a little that we've added to this. Say this. Try it again. My sound may not be working, but nonetheless, you could add that. Let's try it a third time. Still not happening for me. But there is that audio version there for you. Lots of different options. So let's just use this as our sample. I'm going to close this so that it's big again. Now let's just keep moving on. I'm not sure what happened with this sound there, but we accomplished a lot with this video. So now let's share it. So you've got a couple of different options here that you could use. One would be that you download it. Again, this would be as an MP4, but if you wanted it to just be still, you don't your computer, you can self-post it wherever you want. If you really do want to use the planner, you could go on here and schedule it for whatever date. Maybe we're doing this and we're actually going to put this listing on the market on Monday the 24th. Then we could go in here and say that we want it to go on at 9 a.m. You'd post next, select your channel, whether you want it to go to Facebook or your Instagram. We've been doing Instagram. And again, the only thing I don't like about this planner is it doesn't let you pick both. And even if you've got your Instagram set up, so you want it to always feed to Facebook, that is not, in my opinion, reliable. You've got to manually go to Instagram each post. And you can schedule posts out on Instagram, by the way. You can schedule things out in the future, but you do have to click that special button that you wanted to share with your Facebook page. So that's the only downside to Canva, but I bet they're going to make our dreams come true someday. So right here, we could write great new Des Moines listing. What do you guys like? 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, won't last long. See how you can type all these things in here. And then of course you can do all of your hashtags, like hashtag new listing, hashtag love my job, whatever you guys like to do, you can put that in there. And then you would just click schedule. Okay. I'm not going to schedule that because it has tons of errors, but hopefully going. And there are a ton of options that I think that maybe we should explore in our next video. Hopefully this helped, whether you're seasoned, it was a good reminder, or if you're a newbie, hopefully this helped you learn some of the features that are available for you.